If someone had told you even a week ago that you would do so well on Super Tuesday, that you would be outright winning states you never even set foot in, be honest, would you have believed them?
Yes, we believe we would. I was certain we'd win Virginia. I was certain we'd win North Carolina. I was certain we'd win Alabama. I was certain we'd win other states. But as big as it was, I was a little surprised about Massachusetts. I was surprised about Minnesota, and I was hopeful about Texas.
Let's talk about Mr. Sanders. He has been talking about your victory. He said Joe is running a campaign which is obviously heavily supported by the corporate establishment. What do you think about that argument?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Bernie, you got beaten by overwhelming support I have from the African-American community, Bernie. You got beaten because of suburban women, Bernie. You got beaten because of middle-class, hardworking folks out there, Bernie. You've raised a lot more money than I have, Bernie.
The president, of course, has been watching the Democratic primary very closely. He actually has been weighing in on behalf of Bernie Sanders. He said the system is rigged against Sanders, that the Democrats are, quote, staging a coup against him. Okay, I'll throw it out there.
I wonder why he's saying that.
Well, I mean, why do you think so? Do you think the president is rooting for Sanders?
Look, I think the one thing the president doesn't want to do from the very beginning is face me, because I will beat him, period. Period. He has done everything in his power. He's even risked his presidency because he doesn't want to face me.
Do you expect?
It's simple. Have you ever, a rhetorical question, have you ever seen a sitting president get so involved in a Democratic primary and focus so much attention on not wanting a single person, me, to become the nominee? The president does not want me to be the nominee.
Well, you know, you mentioned the president has gone after you. We know that he's obviously hoping that there's more investigation of your son, of Burisma, the energy company that he served the board on. Do you think that as your political fortunes rise, they're coming after you more?
Of course. There's nothing there. Look, Donald Trump has corrupted the soul of this country. Donald Trump has pummeled the middle class. Donald Trump has embraced dictators and poked his thumb in the eye of our allies. Donald Trump is a disaster, and he knows it, and he knows I'm going to be able to point it out, and I can hardly wait to debate him.
First, you got to get through the Democratic primary, and returning to that, Bernie Sanders released an ad today. I'm going to play you a portion of it. I think you may recognize the voice you're about to hear.
I think people are ready for a call to action. They want honest leadership who cares about them. They want somebody who's going to fight for them. And they will find it in Bernie. That's right, feel the burn.
President Obama, of course, has not endorsed anyone in the Democratic primary. Do you think that ad is misleading?
Look, it's not at all a surprise. Everybody's embracing Barack. Barack was a great president. He's a wonderful guy. And he said a lot of nice things about a lot of people. But look, the idea that Bernie Sanders was a great supporter of the President of the United States and shares his views, I mean, come on. Anyway, it doesn't matter much. Yeah, it doesn't matter much.
Is it time, though, for President Obama to get off the sideline and make an endorsement and put his finger on the scale?
No, I don't think so. Imagine had he endorsed me and we won as big as we did yesterday. You'd all be saying I won because of Barack. I'm winning because of me. I'm going to earn this on my own.
Let's talk about Mike Bloomberg. He dropped out of the race. He's supporting you now. What kind of help do you think he'll give to your campaign? What do you expect? What do you hope?
He talked about my character. He talked about why he supported me. And he talked about why I'd be enthusiastic about it. That all by itself is a gigantic help.
Senator Sanders has been hitting you hard on some of your past decisions, some of your record in particular. He's talking about your vote in favor of the Iraq war. He also says you voted for trade agreements that will make it difficult for you in some of the Rust Belt states that we're going to come voting in the next few weeks. Does he have a point about aspects of your record coming back to haunt you?
No, my record has been so thoroughly investigated. You guys rightly looked at it, every vote I've ever taken. Now let's go to Michigan, Bernie. Let's see if that's true. I'm the guy that helped bail out the automobile industry. What'd you do, old buddy? Come on. This idea of that my record is a problem. You know, this is a guy who voted against the Brady bill 5 times for background checks on people. And I welcome the competition, Bernie. Let's talk about your votes. Let's talk about my votes. Let's see what the American people say.
There was a scary moment on stage the other night when a protester rushed the stage, and your wife, Dr. Jill Biden, and one of your senior advisors, Simone Sanders, rushed to the rescue. They make for good security, but does that raise in your mind the question of whether you should have U.S. Secret Service protection and whether the other candidates in the race should?
Well, I think that's something that has to be considered the more outrageous some of this becomes.
Was that scary?
I tell you, my wife's something else, isn't she?
Yes, she had your back for sure.
I was worried about for Jill. I mean, God love her. She is incredible. She did the same thing in another event up in New Hampshire, and a guy, I didn't even see him coming behind me and approached in a black, and she runs up and grabs him. She and my daughter have more courage than I think. Anyway, that's what I worry about. I worry about Jill.
Does it feel like that kind of protection is necessary?
Well, I think it's becoming increasingly so. I don't like to pull the Trump routine of, if someone stands up and protests, throw them out, kick the bum out kind of. I don't do that. But I do think that the idea of jumping on a stage is just not permissible. The last thing we need is anybody hurt.
Do you feel confident that you can sew up this nomination before the convention, or do you think this is a battle that's going to go all the way to Milwaukee?
We're going to go from the Dakotas all the way to Michigan, places where I think I can do well. And if I do that, it just piles up more support and more momentum. That's my hope. That's my expectation. But I'm not looking all the way down the road till the convention.
Mr. Vice President, thank you for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Savannah.